Hello and welcome back to Psychic Tarot card reading. So this reading is on a requested reading on Travis Scott and the recent Astroworld accident, what happened, the tragedy. So I'm gonna look into that on this IG live, and then I will post it on YouTube as well. Yeah. So guys, I've created a new Instagram page. The name is PTCR Psychic Tarot. PTCR Psychic Tarot, no space. So that page is going to be private. I've already uploaded about 2 readings on there, and I'm going to upload a lot more. So the page is private and it's also payable. It's £23 a month. And on that page I upload I do readings that I wouldn't put up on YouTube or on this particular Instagram page. Yeah. So that page I'm going to upload I'll try to do readings as many times as I can on that page, obviously, and also your requested readings on sensitive topics, controversial topics, non-controversial topics as well. Yeah, but either way, it's a private page, and you pay and you send the payment to my PayPal account. Once you've paid, you let me know and you send your name and I will add you onto the page. Yeah. Okay, so this is a reading on the Astroworld. What took place in the Astroworld. Travis Scott. Okay. Yeah. So let me get to the obvious questions. What happened with the Travis Scott, the Astroworld? Was it orchestrated? Was it a sacrifice? Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So I've got these 3 cards here. Even before I threw the cowries, I was already picking up that energy of sacrifices. This cowrie here pointing to this middle card, right? Like this cowrie pointing to this middle card, this cowrie as well pointing to this middle card. So indicating like there's been an exchange of souls, Now, if you pay attention, you know that in hospitals, there's this kind of signs. I'm sure you've seen these signs on top of hospitals or, not like health centers or ambulances. So this type of sign. And then this, figure, like the lion sort of image, it's reddish, and red is the color of blood. Red is the color of, well, life, of the heart, for a heartbeat. So this is indicating people's spirits, people's souls being exchanged, like being put on top of this exchange, yeah, taking place between these 2 parties. Yeah. So I forgot to pin the comments. This is a reading on Travis Scott and what took place at his concert. So yeah, I definitely pick up it was a sacrifice, a sacrificial exchange. Yeah. For money. So this horse, like this first card, right? The dark horse is like a horse, the horse of doom, the horse of death. Yeah. Like it comes bearing bad news. Not for every reading, obviously, but that's what I'm picking up. That's the energy that I'm picking up, definitely, for this particular one. And this one here again, for what purpose? For what reason? For money. Yeah. Let me look into why. Aside from money, was there anything else, or who was involved in this exchange of the souls? Yeah. Yeah. So for power, yeah, for power. So this building here, you know, similar to a church or a cathedral, like something, an institution that breeds power, that breeds influence. So that's another reason for this sacrifice. Yeah. To be amongst, I mean, I know Travis Scott is already among, but the way they feel, which they're not wrong, right? In Hollywood or in the entertainment industry, your place is never really secured. Yeah. Until or except you keep having to shed blood, the blood of other people, individuals. Yeah. So that's what's taking place. That's what's taking place. Yeah. So influence, and this card here, this middle card indicating, yeah, the influence needs to be fought for. Fighting. It needs, like this card indicates, it needs to be fought for. Yeah. You know, you may have questions. I wouldn't say it's automatic. Like, they wouldn't need to fight for it if only they knew another way, a better way of dealing with it, like of getting influence or whatever. But they don't want to look at another way. Yeah. Especially people like the Kardashians and people like well, who get involved with the likes of the Kardashians. Yeah. Yeah. Did he start, was he always like this? Did he start this way, like with the sacrificing? Not exactly. Like this card, like the fact that the stick that he's using, and the stick is very much for warfare, which is like a microphone, right? The microphone that he uses to sing with. The fact that this stick is longer, far longer than the ones on the ground. And you know, the ground is where something comes out of. So meaning where he came out of, where he started, his beginning, it wasn't like that. Like, it wasn't meant to be full of sacrifices, at least other people's sacrifices, right? Like, it wasn't meant to be fighting, because Travis Scott, he's got an incredible amount of talent, but he doesn't use it as much as he should. And that he's not totally to be blamed for it, because 50-50, like when I'm picking up his family surroundings, when I say family, especially like Kylie Jenner, they put on the people that they support, and is it on purpose? Half and half. They put a kind of energy on the person, an energy of, you have to cut corners in order to get where you want to be. Yeah, that kind of energy, that level of sacrifice, as opposed to the sacrifices that Travis Scott, would have been used to prior to that. Yeah, he would have been used to like sacrificing, you know, putting in your sweat, working late nights and all of those things. Like, not that he doesn't do those, but at some point it comes down to, okay, do you want to keep sacrificing your time, or do you want to just cut through the bullshit, your time, and then give us this, the souls of innocence? Yeah. And that's something that he bowed to. Yeah. The exchange. Yeah. So in order to fight for his place, fight for his influence, and then this card here, the King of Cups, in order to be the king of his castle. Yeah. And what I'm really picking up the influence of the Kardashians. Like, there's a lot of the influence on him. Yeah. And not just on him actually, but on the men that they date, the men that they get with. Not only the men that you would see them with in the newspapers, but also the men that they've been with even in the past. Yeah, past lives even. They've got an incredible amount of they're like succubus. Yeah, I think that's the word, succubus, like a female that sucks on masculine power, virility. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, yeah, again, like sort of the devil card, like for this to come up in the midst of this type of reading, definitely it's an exchange of souls, like to put the souls in chains and bondages. Yeah. Yeah, and this is the influence of the Kardashians, like the females, even in past lives when they were not called Kardashians. Yeah. 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 And the Knight of Swords, like following this card, right? The Knight of Swords, it shows like even in past lives when people used to go fighting on a horse, on horses and, you know, with swords and helmets. In those past lives as well, yeah, they could still get men to fight for them, to fight on their behalf. So really, if I have to say, this that happened, you know, and it's not to disrespect the souls of those who were taken, this that happened, it was more like a battle for Kylie. Yeah. Because I do see problems in the relationship. Yeah. 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 Problems in the relationship. People watching, you know, people watching this might think, how does this tragedy, how is it related to the problems in the relationship of Kylie and Travis? But it is, because Travis is very emotional. Yeah, he's a very emotional person at times when it comes to family, his family life, because he's a very family oriented person, extremely family oriented. And that's one thing that not only Kylie but the women in the Kardashians, like women in his life, they tend to manipulate a lot. They pull on his heartstrings and they get him to go fighting for them. They get him to go to war for them. Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm picking up. You know, again, it doesn't remove his responsibility, right? Because, you know, in order to get on a horse, you have to do it, not somebody else. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm picking up. Yeah. So this, again, the cowrie indicating it's on this card, on this person. Yeah. Yeah. And what this card really depicts, like, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, right? So for money, and to sit on her throne, to sit on the throne. And the plants, like you can see the plants around. It's like, it looks like brain, like somebody's brain, you know, somebody's brain, like the tentacles or whatever, like a person's brain, right? And that's what they do. Like they play with people's brains. They play on people's minds. Yeah, they prey on people's minds, and they get them to beautify the actions. Yeah, they get them to see something as horrible as a sacrifice as something necessary. In fact, more than necessary, even beautiful as roses. Yeah, as beautiful as roses. But the point is money. The point is money. Yeah. So let me look into why how sacrifices go about and if there's going to be consequences. I mean, there definitely will be karma. There will. Especially for Travis, because that's one thing I'm picking up, especially for Travis, because he didn't have to. Like this right here, he did not have to. He could have given into his own intuition and allowed this figure, this fighting figure, to remain sitting down. Yeah, to remain sitting down and go like this instead. Because being on a horse doesn't mean you have to go fighting or holding a sword to fight. It could mean you're holding a cup of victory, meaning that he could have remained sitting down with his sword and still have had victory in terms of money. In terms of money, yeah, without even fighting. He could have remained sitting down and come up with a cup, i.e. working hard, but he didn't. So what the consequences will be, his money is going to go down, not entirely, but it is going to have an effect on his money, and certainly not immediately. Like, in fact, you feel as if he's gotten even more notoriety, even more clout, the good kind of notoriety, I mean, like as if the sacrifice would have worked. Yeah, but the blood of those innocent people is going to scream on against him, and I do see his end not being a good one. Yeah. If you're coming on, you don't need to worry. I'm going to post this video when I'm done. Yeah. I'll post it on this page and also on my YouTube channel. So it's a reading on Travis, the accident that happened. Yeah. So that death card, his death not being like the most pleasant one. Yeah. Almost like him passing before, way before he should have gone. Yeah. But again, this isn't anytime soon. More like many years. Many years. But it won't be pleasant. Yeah. It's like his mental health will be affected a lot more than his physical state. Yeah. What about Kylie? Yeah. She's gonna be the same as usual, still using people, propping people up in her cup. You know, the cup is golden, it's a golden one, so like golden signifying money. So putting people in her cup in order to get money, like manipulating an individual. Yeah. So that's what I see for Kylie. What is gonna be her karma though? Let me see. Getting being in relationships that would not favor her, relationships that would suck on her money. Yeah, almost like she wants to be a billionaire. I mean, a certified billionaire, Kylie. But I keep like, it's as if no matter the steps she will take, she will keep getting involved in relationships that will stop, that will pull her down, like money wise. Her reputation will stay the way it has been all this while, but it's more in the background, like relationships with men who are not worthy and who would suck on her money, swindle her. Yeah, a lot of swindling through her personal relationships. Yeah. Let me ask the cards, right? Like, how does this sacrifice take place? Yeah. So this card coming up, you know, so again, so I'm looking at what happened with the Astroworld, the concert and the victim. So, and I was just wondering, how does this sacrifice happen? How does it take place? People who love the world, like people who stand like this and who think to themselves, nothing can happen. Like people who put their trust in the world or in worldly things is what I'm picking up. Like human beings are gonna have to be a lot more spiritual than they've ever been. Not just because, let's say, celebrities are becoming more bloodthirsty, you know, to sacrifice them, but also because the world in itself is going to go crazy. Aside from the elites or the public figures, you know, celebrities that we know, normal, like people, like it could be your neighbor, everybody is going to have some degree of spiritual intelligence coming to them. And with that comes a desire to get even more power or to use those that intelligence for something good. Either way, it means that you've got to learn to protect yourself even more, because otherwise, if you have this mindset, right, of relying on the world, of thinking that, oh, because this stick right here representing the spiritual realm, and then if you turn your back on things that are spiritual, and the way this, I know, I see this stick as being spiritual, the spiritual realm, is because it's standing on its own. Yeah, like obviously it could have been put there, but that's not the point. The point is that in this picture, in this image, there's a stick that is being held by a human, a physical hand. Then there's a stick that is just standing on its own without being held by a human hand. So it means that that's what the spiritual realm is about. Like the spiritual realm, it stands on its own. You know, there's no obvious physical realm about the spiritual. Like the spiritual stands on its own, and it's not so obvious, or it's not so violent in the physical, right, as the physical realm is. So it means that in order to pay attention to the realm of the spirit and spiritual things like sacrifices, blood sacrifices, like if you don't believe in a blood sacrifice, then what would make you immune from being sacrificed? Yeah, you just won't know because you wouldn't be paying attention to it. And that's something that these people wouldn't so much have been paying attention to. In fact, they would have turned their backs on the spiritual realm and spiritual things. Yeah. So when a person's back is turned to the spiritual realm or spiritual activities, then, you know, imagine this, the stick can fall on the person and hurt the person standing here. Like something could happen and then the stick just sways and it falls on this person right here. The person wouldn't know because the mind, the gaze is on this world that they're holding. Yeah. And they're holding this stick. So that's really that for the victims. Of course, there will be a lot of karma, aside from the ones that I've listed anyway, for not just Kylie and Travis, but those who also were involved, those who got involved, like whether it's the organizers or whoever else in this tragedy. Yeah, but yeah. If you have any questions about this, do let me know, because I feel as though, you know, with the spiritual awakening, lots of people are already suspecting what is actually real and true about, you know, demons, sacrifices, or whatever else. So I feel as if I'm just maybe like saying something that people already knew, yeah, or suspected a great deal, yeah. But there was intense spiritual activity, spiritual warfare. Well, not really a war actually, because these people didn't fight. They turned their backs on spiritual things. Yeah. But intense spiritual activity, signing over these people's souls. And that's by doing incantations. Yeah, incantations. For those who wanted to know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this reading here. Do let me know if you have any questions about this, and I'll make sure to do a follow-up reading. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.